uno, le damos record. Espérate. Okay. Hey, Juan Sebastian, how are you?
How about you?
I can't hear you.
Can you hear me now?
Can you talk now?
Hello?
Excellent. Yeah, I can hear you now. How are you?
I'm doing all right. Can't complain.
Good, good. Well, thank you for taking some time to talk to me today. Yeah, as I mentioned, I just want to talk a little bit more about bitFlyer in order for me
Mhm.
to understand about the company now that I'm doing a company presentation about it for my fintech class.
Mhm.
So I'll just jump straight to it. So,
Right.
um, so what's your current position, and also what's your day-to-day activities inside the company?
Yeah. Well, bitFlyer, as you know, is an exchange. We are the largest in Japan. We expanded to the US in 2017. We became the fourth recipient of the bid license. We launched with it, and we're still one of the few exchanges that has licenses in New York, and we have licenses in 47 states. And we have two different products. One of them is our Lightning platform, that is a trading platform for professional traders and institutional traders as well. Um, and then we also have our more retail platform that is more like a brokerage type of app. And so I give you that context so you can understand what I do on a day-to-day basis more. I'm business strategy manager, and under business strategy in bitFlyer, how it's structured is that on business strategy you have business development, you have marketing, you have some sort of product and operations as well. So I work mostly on the business development and the marketing pieces. And on business development is essentially trying to grow our volumes and improving our liquidity on Lightning. It involves a lot of sales, involves a lot of planning to see, for example, how to improve the depth of our book, uh, bring on large volume traders, and give them the VIP service for them to incentivize them to continue trading on our platform. Then we also have on the marketing side, I we have PR, we have growth, uh, user acquisition, SEO. So we have all those different divisions, and I oversee all of those activities. I currently have only one person under that team under me. In business development, I'm the only one that is managing right now. We are 10 people in the US, but globally we are 250 across Japan, Europe, and here in the US. Um, so that is a high level on what I do on a day-to-day basis. Most of my time now I'm focusing on trying to onboard institutional clients because of the revenue that they give us over a long period of time. Whereas if you think of more about like the retail traders, they usually have, we see sometimes like a 6 month a lifetime. So that is, the margins are better for the retail traders sometimes, but the institutional traders are revenue on the long term. So we are in Japan, we're trading over $1 billion a day, but in the US the landscape is very different. So we are working hard to just improve that by onboarding institutional traders that have the capital and well, they dedicate themselves to this, right? So we have to incentivize them with market maker programs, uh, and also some other things that they require. For example, dedicated support on the technical level to integrate with your APIs. So I mostly oversee those things, and then on the marketing side is just overseeing our affiliate program, our ads, and making sure that we have we're in line to meet the targets that we have for the next couple of years.
Excellent, excellent. Thank you. So, um, yeah, you also answered one of my questions, which was also the how is the organizational structure of the firm. So, do you think it is working properly this way? There's different locations of offices around the world. Um, how's the integration on that side?
It's tricky, obviously, because the trickiest thing is that in the US, we only have uh, a, we have business, so marketing, business development. We have compliance and legal, which is, pretty much local. It has to be local because we have all the time, we have audits, we have exams from state regulators. Uh, we also have some operations people, so the ones that are managing customer support, some like coin transactions. We also have uh, so that's pretty much it actually in the US. We have compliance and legal, business, and some support operations, which is some of it is also outsourced to Japan, and some compliance as well. The one that is like manual work, for example, transaction monitoring, making sure that the funds that come to our platform are not dirty, or that we're following our AML the program and restrictions. But the biggest challenge though is on the product development side. If we think about like our competitors, for example, Coinbase,
Mm.
they have all their engineers here, so the way that they move is a lot faster because they are able to talk with them on a day to day. The markets are different as well, so we have to integrate a global roadmap. And Japan has is by far in the largest market for us. So sometimes what they see in Japan is probably something that is not relevant for the US customer, but we just try to integrate that as much as possible. So on a product development side, it's challenging to have that organizational structure. But there are a few things that we are changing because we do see a lot of opportunity in the US. I think only 10% of the population has, or 9% has invested in cryptocurrencies at some point. So in Japan, that number is a lot bigger. I think it's around 90% of the population is aware of cryptocurrencies. Right here in the US, it's just 63%. And the trading profiles are also very different. Uh, but I guess that, we do acknowledge that there's a big opportunity here in the US, and we are in the process of restructuring that to make sure that we can move as fast as our competitors.
Excellent, excellent. Okay, great. And now that you are, also in the business development side, um, what are some of the competitors? What are some of the major firms that you're taking into consideration when, you know, doing your business?
Yeah, so most of them are direct exchanges. So our biggest competitors are, Coinbase, Gemini, uh, Kraken, Bitstamp, Itbit, OKCoin, the Cash App. Um, we also have Robinhood to some extent as well. And there are a few there are competitors coming up every day. So, for example, Revolut is planning to launch into all 50 states soon. Um, but we cannot be competing against everyone because everyone has different businesses. So we, to some extent, compete with the Cash App because they're generating a lot of sales from Bitcoin, but the way that they acquire customers is very different from our way to acquire customers. We have very different products. We're solely an exchange, whereas they are, a peer-to-peer money app and a bunch of other things. But then there's also the unregulated exchanges. So we cannot be competing with directly in the US with OKCoin, with like all the hundreds of exchanges that are on CoinMarketCap, because we're a regulated exchange. We attract uh, different customers at many points. For example, many of the Wall Street firms, they are looking for somewhere that they know they can be sure that they're trading against someone that is not trying to screw them over, or that there needs to be some visibility that when I wake up the next day, my funds are still there. So there's proper custody of the funds, and the only way to actually be sure that that is in place, or the correct processes are in place, is with proper regulation.
Excellent, excellent. Thank you. And just to wrap up quickly, I know I don't want to take more time from you, but
Mm-hmm.
what are some of the major threats that that you see that may affect the business bitFlyer as a whole?
Yeah, major threats are obviously competitors new coming in. So, for example, as I mentioned, Revolut is coming in. Many other crypto businesses start with something different. So, for example, BlockFi is a good example. Is they were crypto lenders in the beginning. Now they launch their buy-sell services, and I think that everyone is looking to launch an exchange because it's by far the most profitable business in crypto right now. So, new businesses coming up are definitely very very important for us. But also on the regulatory side, there is, it's a big barrier to entry for many companies. At least for bitFlyer, we've taken the approach that we're going to abide by regulations. And today we're the only exchange in the world that is licensed in Japan, Europe, and US. So we have a vision of, uniting those markets. There's fragmentation across liquidity, across the liquidity from each jurisdiction. But for us, bitFlyer US particularly, there's also threat on a state-by-state level that some of them might start implementing more like stricter regulations. For example, California is one of them. New York is by far the most strict and the most demanding. Dedicates a lot of resources in audits, in tools that are able to comply with the requirements. But California is adopting a very similar model, and so far we have pretty good standing. But if more states go with that model, you're going to see that it's going to be harder to operate as a crypto business as a whole. You can see Crack as an example. Kraken, they left New York because the compliance costs were just too high, and the requirements were too high as well for them to be able to operate their vision. Our vision is different, but at the same time, it's always a challenge from a operational and financial perspective.
Excellent, excellent. Well, yeah, I think I have enough information for the project that I'm doing. I'll sure send it to you so you can see it. And thank you so much for your time, Todd.
Absolutely.
Thank you. Have a good day.
You too. Bye bye.